Hey folks, I am Kevin Iole and welcome to Yahoo Sports. And boy, am I excited. We have an unbelievable fight this weekend. I'm glad we can quit talking about arbitrators and Saudi Arabia and everything and get to fights that are actually happening and then have a lot of importance. On Saturday night over at the New Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas is going to be Josh Taylor, the unbeaten Tartan Tornado, fighting my next guest, a frequent guest of mine, one of my favorite guys to talk to in the business, and one of the best fighters in the world, Jose Ramirez. Jose, how are you, my man?
I'm doing just fine. We're days away from the biggest fight in my career, and I'm very motivated. I'm very excited. I'm very composed, and just relaxed, just waiting for the day to come.
I think this is great. You guys are setting a really good tone. I wrote in a column, it was posted earlier today on Yahoo Sports discussing all the unifications that are going on. And you must like that trend. You're unifying the belt. Fury and Joshua agreed, although now we don't know what's going to happen there. But Canelo Alvarez is making that bid. Charlo is going to be doing that as well. Teofimo Lopez has 4 belts. So this is one of those things that it's a positive trend in boxing. From your standpoint, how important is it to have one champion in a division with all the belts?
I think that's the only way that a lot of the answers could be, a lot of the questions could be answered, a lot of the doubt and a lot of the opinions of people could be answered just by simply people facing each other, and the best facing the best. And I think that's the way competition should be. At first when I became a world champion, I thought I was going to change my life, but I realized I still had a lot to show and a lot to prove, And then when I won my second world title, I felt like I felt that I was just getting closer to finally proving myself more than anybody that I was the best in the division. So this is the fight that again. I'm going to be able to prove myself and my family and that I am the best in the division and that all my work, all my sacrifices were for something, and I'm doing this for my, for the glory, for me, for my family, and for all the people that have supported me since early on, and the people that respect me the most. I want to, share this glory with all of them because not too many people can say they become undisputed. So instead, it's going to be a historical fight for me for sure.
The one thing that is difficult when you become the undisputed champion, now you get all these crazy mandatories coming at you, and it's almost, you get undisputed and immediately they start stripping titles away from you. Let's go step forward to Sunday and say you're the undisputed champion. How do you deal with that problem, right? Are you going to be like Bernard Hopkins, who really worked hard to make sure that he kept all those belts together and he fought the mandatories that he had to fight that maybe weren't that lucrative to keep it together? How will you approach it when if you have all 4 belts?
We will see, we will see because Sunday's still long. It still feels so far away from today. I'm the type of fighter who the day after the fight doesn't exist, and I'm taking it day by day right now and hoping to be as well prepared as I can for Saturday night. God willing, I do become the next undisputed world champion. The feeling, the glory, is going to be too big that I won't be thinking about my next move in boxing yet. I'm just going to enjoy myself and enjoy my family. After every fight, the first thing I like to do is go with my family, and be thankful that I made it out safe, because boxing is a very difficult sport. So I just want to enjoy my family afterwards, So enjoy the time with the people that most care about me the most, and just be with them, and that's first and foremost after my fight. That's what I'm going to be doing, and once I get home and take a couple weeks off, and then I'll probably turn off my phone, and then I'll be ready to talk about business again and see what I decide to do.
Josh Taylor, undefeated fighter like you are. I was honestly surprised that he beat Regis Prograis, even though the fight was over on his neck of the woods and everything. I really thought Prograis would win that fight. And Josh Taylor went up in my mind. I think I maybe underrated him. It was a great win. What is your take on Josh as a fighter? What are his strengths, and what do you feel like your advantage over him is?
Well, he's a great fighter. Regis Prograis is a great fighter. Any fighter at this level of competition, they must have been really good to make it this far, And I would never discredit no fighter based on one performance. I think I'd be doing it unjust to define a fighter based on one performance, in a negative way. I think Josh Taylor, did what he had to do. I think he wanted to fight, wanted to win that fight. He wanted to win that night, and I expect the same Josh Taylor or even a better Josh Taylor, because that's who I want to face. I want to face the best out there, and God willing, I show that I'm stronger than him. God willing, I show him something new that he hasn't seen. God willing, I overwhelm him in every single way. The speed, the volume of punches, the pace, just in every single way, and just be myself. And hopefully that's enough to take control of the fight early on and show the world and surprise the world on how good Jose Ramirez really is. It's everything about this fight excites me, because I can't really say how it's going to happen. It's hard to really predict how the fight's going to play out until the first bell rings and the rounds go by and see how it goes. But I think Josh Taylor is a great fighter, and that excites me the most. It motivates me a lot more for sure, knowing that he's a good fighter.
The interesting thing about you is you have been trained by two of the greatest trainers of all time, Freddie Roach and now Robert Garcia. And I wonder, when you made the move from Roach to Garcia, everybody knew Garcia was a great trainer, but it's like, it's a big move to leave, one of the all-timers. Now that you've been at the Garcia Boxing Academy for a while, you've gotten to work under Robert's system. How do you think you have evolved as a fighter? In what way has Robert changed you and helped you to get to the level where you're at right now?
Robert Garcia and his whole family, his father, even Mikey, his kids, Pita, the whole family really, really gets excited when they see me train. They really enjoy watching me train. And that when I look at that, it motivates me as a athlete to continue training hard and push myself to continue to impress them, and at the same time they're motivated to also bring the best out of me as trainers, so that itself just we're pushing each other to work together and improve. It's the sparring at the Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. I could honestly say that's the gym where you find the best sparring. And there's so many great fighters there that I get to spar that really sharpens me as a fighter to be prepared for fights like this.
Who are the left-handers down there that you get a chance to work with? Because obviously with Josh, it's a little different this time. Any Southpaws that you worked with?
Yeah, well, I worked with Javier Martinez. He's 160-pounder. I worked with Johnny Santillan, who's a 147-pounder. And I also worked with another 3-0, 4-0 boxer who's by the name of Felix. I believe he fights at 147 or 154 in between those, or catch weight.
Are you comfortable fighting? You've fought internationally, you fought in the Olympics. So I would assume you've come across your share of Southpaws. What is the biggest challenge facing a Southpaw, especially a Southpaw as good as Taylor, who can punch like Taylor can punch?
It's, honestly, I never really paid too much attention to that. It's there's good Southpaws, there's good right-handers. It's at the end of the day, it's who's the smartest, who's smart enough to figure out the other fighter faster, and I know certain punches work better for Southpaws and certain punches work better for orthodox fighters, but everyone's different. Everyone has different heights. Everyone has different body structures. Everyone has different abilities, and I think at Southpaw, one thing that works really good against Southpaws is, when you put them against the ropes. And when you put a Southpaw against the ropes, they're very limited because of their stance, and it's harder for them to fight back when they're against the ropes. But when they're putting the pressure and dictating the fight, then they could be really complicated.
Let's watch for that then. That'll be something to see in the fight. Jose, whenever we tell your story, I think it's never complete without talking about the great charity work you do and what you've done for the people in the Central Valley, Fresno area. And I wonder if anything, specifically during the pandemic that you've worked on to try to help, the migrant workers that you've been so good to over your career. Did you have any programs that you've been working on recently that to help those people?
Well, last year throughout the pandemic, I got together with the Bautista Foundation, which is a foundation that was made by my good friend who's a doctor, Dr. Dr. Juan Bautista, and him and his father, they have been great doctors for the community, and we partnered up together and we did a package relief alongside also another doctor, Dr. Guzman, who works alongside with Dr. Bautista. We got together and did a relief package for the farm workers that included some of the essential products, and also a tips on how to stay protected during the pandemic that was written by them, the doctors, to give them pointers to keep them safe. And we gave over 1,000, maybe almost 2,000 boxes, packages to workers, and also we continue to work on giving them hand sanitizers, masks, so they could have all those essentials for them to for free, for them not to have to go to the stores and look for hand sanitizers or look for masks for them, or bandanas. We were giving away bandanas, and then now that they were open for the vaccination, I got together with Wonderful Pistachios and got together with different clinics to really motivate and support the employees to get the vaccines, in a way to where they feel comfortable, because it's very important with the vaccinations. It's all about just trust, them trusting the process.
Sure.
So I was really happy to see the education that some of these clinics, some of these doctors were given to the employees. They were giving them proper education and proper knowledge about how the vaccines work, and just making sure they were protected, at least for them to know that they had the option available to them, and again, to remind them that they're just as important as our first responders, because they, throughout the pandemic, they continue working, and just put them in the place where they belong, to be one of the first ones to qualify for the vaccination.
I want to, I'll wrap up asking you this. I mean, let's say you're an old man someday, and I know you said Sunday doesn't exist right now, but let's just pretend for the sake of argument that you're an old man. You're my age, right? So really old man, and you're looking back. What is going to be more important to you in your life? The fact that you were the undisputed champion at one point, or the fact that you really affected positively a lot of lives of people who really badly needed the help?
To be sincere, it's all the things that I did through God's work, I think are more important to me. So helping the poor, helping the less fortunate, motivating the less fortunate, being a good role model, being a good father, being a good brother, being a good neighbor to my neighbors. I respect people with respect, carrying myself with respect and dignity. Those things are what matter. Those things are the most important things for me. Wow, I'm very blessed with the sport, and I respect the sport, and I'm grateful that the sport allows me to do so many things, because without the financial support that I've gotten, by winning my boxing matches, I wouldn't be able to give as much as I do. But it's me being a good man overall. It's what matters. The way my fiance looks at me, the way my father looks at me, the way my brothers look at me. That's the most important thing.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. Congratulations on everything you've done. Best of luck on Saturday on ESPN. Again, Jose Ramirez against Josh Taylor for the undisputed super lightweight championship. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great fight. Jose, thank you so much. Always great to talk to you, my friend.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Thank you.